How to become a Cese in 3 years. Mga kases, ang duration ng proseso ng pagsese ay nakadepende sa bawat CES candidate. Ano po ang ibig kong sabihin? On the average, ang CES process ay umaabot na 4 to 5 years. Inuulit ko po, on the average, 4 to 5 years ang proseso. Ngunit, makinig po kayong mabuti. Pwede pong umabot lang ng 3 taon ang proseso kung susundin mo ang mga hakbang na ituturo ko sa iyo sa videong ito. Ano mga kases? Naniniwala ba kayo na ito ay posible? Naniniwala ba kayo na kayang tapusin ang 4 na CES stages sa loob lamang ng 3 taon? Kung hindi ka naniniwala, mas kailangan mong makinig ng mabuti sa mga dapat mong gawin upang mangyari na ang dapat na mangyari Cese in 3 years. Are you ready? Mga kases, bakit ba tumatagal ang proseso ng pagsese? Tumatagal ang proseso unang-una dahil sa hindi alam ng mga aplikante na ang paghahanda para sa mabilis na proseso ay dapat nag-uumpisa ng maaga. Mga iho at mga iha, kung kayo ay nagbabalak dumaan sa proseso, dapat 1 to 2 years early ay inaayos mo na ang work performance, behavioral competence, at integrity mo bilang isang government worker. Let us break down the steps that you must follow to fast-track your CES eligibility process. 1. Raise your work performance, behavioral or managerial competence, and integrity as a government worker to very satisfactory or outstanding level. 2. Pass the CES-WE within 1 year and immediately apply for the assessment center. 3. Pass the assessment center within that year or the ensuing year. 4. Pass the 1-day rapid validation process in the 3rd stage and panel interview, 4th stage within 1 year. 5. Once asked by CES-WE to submit documents for conferment of Cese title, immediately submit the documents. So there guys, 5 steps that you must follow to become a Cese in just 3 years. Now, let us clarify each of these 5 steps to ensure that everything is followed and your goal is achieved. Step number 1. Raise your work performance, behavioral or managerial competence, and integrity as a government worker to very satisfactory or outstanding level. Why is this basic steps very important in setting up your CES journey? There are 4 CES stages, as I said earlier, that you must pass before you are conferred with the Cese title. Each stage is an assessment of one or a combination of these areas: work performance, behavioral or managerial competence, and integrity. In the first stage, CES-WE, your cognitive skills and managerial skills are measured if you are basically fit to become a government executive. The assessment center is the major assessment vehicle that determines if you are proficient in all the managerial competencies required of a government manager. The validation of on-the-job performance validates your work performance, behavioral or managerial competencies, and integrity 3 years prior to this stage. And finally, the panel interview is the ultimate assessment of your fitness for the Cese title as backed by your performance in the 3 previous stages. Now, based on that lengthy explanation, you will see why the first step is the basic foundation of a sound CES process. Remember the importance of these 3 terms: work performance, behavioral or managerial competence, and integrity. If you build up a professional profile based on these 3 parameters, the CES process can be reduced to only 3 years. If the queues for the application for the CES stages are not that long, you can even reduce this period to only 2 years and several months. It is the long queues that extend the period. So, when do you start building up your excellent professional profile? 1 or 2 years before you apply for the CES-WE, start building up that profile. The next question is, how? As government workers, you are required to accomplish the SPMS every semester. What is the SPMS? Kung hindi mo ito alam, ay baka ghost employee ka or ghost ka na talaga. SPMS is the acronym for the Strategic Performance Management System. The Strategic Performance Management System is a mechanism that links employee performance with organizational performance to enhance the performance orientation of the compensation system. It ensures that the employee achieves the objectives set by the organization, and the organization, on the other hand, achieves the objectives that it has set as its strategic plan. Every semester you accomplish your SPMS. For those who are holding CES positions either as officer in charge or in an acting capacity, you also accomplish the CES-PES every semester too. What is CES-PES? The Career Executive Service Performance Evaluation System, or CES-PES, is the official performance evaluation system for members of the Career Executive Service. It serves as the basis for personnel actions, including original and promotional appointment to CES ranks, salary adjustments, grant of merit-based incentives such as the performance-based bonus, and conferment of awards like the annual Gawad CES program, quarterly CES VIP, and outstanding CEO awards, and career planning and development. Both the SPMS and CES-PES are evaluation tools that are used by the government to measure the work performance of government employees and officials. So, how does step number 1 works? To build up an excellent professional profile, you must work for very satisfactory or outstanding ratings in the SPMS and CES-PES every semester for 1 or 2 years prior to your application for the CES-WE. That gives you a good head start in the CES journey. Why is this important? Actually, step number 1 prepares you for the 3rd stage, validation of on-the-job performance. If you have very satisfactory or outstanding ratings in the SPMS or and CES-WE, you will pass that stage easily. Although this preparation is focused heavily on the third stage, such preparation also have merits on your first and second stages. In what manner? In your preparation for the third stage, you also develop the managerial competencies that are measured in the CES-WE and the AC. During the first step, you must also establish good relationships with your immediate superiors and subordinates, if any. Why? During the validation stage, you will be a passive participant. The CES-WE accredited validator will conduct interviews with your superiors and some of your subordinates who will act as official interview respondents. If you don't have good relations with these people, you will get adverse feedback from them. On top of all this, live a clean and decent life because the CES-WE validator will dig into your past. If you have a history of vices and other unethical activities, the validator will take record of them, and this will serve as minus points in your integrity. If you are managing a unit, demonstrate good management knowledge, skills, and attitude. The respondents will speak well of you during the validation interviews. That is how you do the first step. Step number 2. Pass the CES-WE within 1 year and immediately apply for the assessment center. Now, how do you pass the CES-WE in one take? If you have the appropriate educational and work backgrounds, you can pass the CES-WE in just one take. If you think you lack these requirements, take a very strategic review. Do not settle for meager reviewers being sold in Shopee, Lazada, or Facebook. These are reviewers that were ingeniously organized by entrepreneurs who downloaded the content from the internet. When I say content, I mean practice tests. These are practically insufficient. First, study the concepts, strategies, and their applications before you go to practice tests. Enroll in our CES-WE online review program. Our program exactly provides everything you need to study before you go to mock tests. After you pass the CES-WE, immediately apply for the assessment center. Why do we insist that you apply for the assessment center or the second stage after passing the first stage or CES-WE immediately? The queues for a slot or schedule to take the assessment center is very, very long. This is due to the great backlog of the CES-WE in giving candidates slots in the AC since the pandemic hit the country. Sa haba ng listahan ng mga nag-a-apply for the AC, you will be lucky to get a slot this year, 2023. As claimed by many of our reviewees, they were promised only slots for 2024. So let me repeat. After the CES-WE, immediately apply for the AC. Step number 3. Pass the assessment center within that year or the ensuing year. The assessment center is the most difficult stage to pass in all the 4 CES stages. The difficulty lies in the fact that the AC is not your ordinary pencil and paper test. It is a management behavioral test. Although assessment centers still fall under the category of psychometric tests, simulated exercises take the place of pencil and paper tests. In these exercises, you must demonstrate the 6 core managerial competencies which are measured in the exercises. To be able to pass the assessment center in one take, you need expert help. Many candidates who did not go through strategic review passed this stage after more than one attempt. Siguro nababalitaan ninyo na madami ang bumabagsak dito ng paulit-ulit at tuluyan ng hindi na nakakabangon. And they totally surrender. So, how do you prepare for a one-shot assessment center? Many agree that they cannot do it on their own steam. You need to be humble enough to seek advice. You need to be humble enough to go through a strategic review. Now that you have the CES Exams Review Center, you have a friend to help you get the job done. Our enhanced AC Online Review Program provides you a complete set of elements of a strategic and comprehensive review. In this program, we channel you through 4 dimensions of preparation. We help you develop the personality and the specific behaviors that will convince the assessors that you are worth the proficiency score. We help you revisit the concepts, theories, and styles of management. After that, we immerse you in the concept of the assessment center method. In this component, we teach you the history, purpose, and validity proofs of the method as well as the rating system, forms, and other essentials. What is most important in this area of learning is the competency framework from which all the measurements flow. Then finally, we teach you all the concepts and strategies involved in the assessment system and show you how to apply all these constructs in the simulations of the 5 AC exercises. Having gone through all the vicissitudes of this assessment system, now you are ready to face with great confidence the assessment center. Step number 4. Pass the 1-day rapid validation process in the 3rd stage and panel interview or 4th stage within 1 year. How do you pass these stages within 1 year? Let us start with the 3rd stage or the validation of on-the-job performance. Earlier, in step 1, we discussed how to improve your work performance, managerial competence, and integrity. Step 1 is practically intended for this stage. What we intend to achieve in this stage is to pass the rapid validation process or RVP in just 1 take. You see, the rapid validation process is done in just 1 day. If CES-WE finds that you have reached the sufficient levels in all the 3 validation dimensions and you have no adverse feedback from their identified sources, then you pass it in just 1 day. On the other hand, If you fail in the RVP, you are automatically subjected to the in-depth validation process or IVP. The IVP may take a long and tedious process. It can extend to 1 or more years or even forever. It might lead to a dead end in your CES journey. Don't lose hope. We have an ebook that can help you pass the rapid validation process. The ebook, which consists of 159 pages, teaches you everything you need to pass this stage. Prevention, in this case, is better than cure. After you pass the validation stage, CES-WE will set your appointment with the panel interviewers for the 4th and last stage. To achieve our goal of getting Cese title in just 3 years, pass this stage as well as the 3rd stage within 1 year. The same ebook which helped you pass the 3rd stage will help you pass this final stage. A chapter in the ebook is devoted to the preparation for this final act. Now that you have a complete picture of what must happen within the 3-year period in coveting the Cese title, you need to brace up for this challenge and faithfully follow our tips in passing all the 4 stages. Follow the steps consistently and never veer off the timelines. Within 3 years, we guarantee that you will be a Cese in time. Thank you for watching this video. If you get value from our content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. See you soon.